Now this is Hollywood Unlocked. Yo, this is Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored. I'm Jason Lee.
Yo, it's DJ Damage.
All right, Melissa Ford's not here, but we have a really big replacement of Wack 100.
Wack.
Got a brand new Honda Accord.
Listen, you know, we've been waiting for the game to come up here because she said she's never had a Honda Accord, and that was just a line he used in the song.
Yo, it made her famous.
It kept her name ringing all over the world. Funny story, I went to a meeting in Newport Beach 2 days ago, to meet with these white people about money. Super white, don't know hip-hop. And they said, tell me about your show. And I'm pitching my show, and I got Melissa Ford on the show. And they go, does she still have a Honda Accord? I swear to God.
You're lying, yo.
I was going to tell her today, but she ain't here. So,
Nah, bro, with social media, if the right person or the wrong person says it,
yeah,
it's going to go.
And stick forever.
Just what it is.
So we can't wait for the game to come up here. So Wack 100, everybody knows Wack. No matter where you live and around the world, you know Wack. If you have an Instagram, you've seen Wack. And if you've listened to music, you've heard of Wack. When I think of you, I really think of a great husband and a really great and present father. But that's not a title that usually precedes you when people talk about you online.
Well,
I kind of feel like you hide that side because that's the softer, nicer side of you.
I don't hide it because every time you see me, I'm with my family.
Yeah, every time.
Right? So I've been let go to Entourage at 50. We stopped doing that years ago, right? Death Row days. So it's like when I'm doing a lot of industry business, the sad part about it is majority of the business I have to do is cleanup business. So it's somebody in a horrible contract, or somebody that got robbed, somebody being extorted or pressured, because I'm totally against all that. You never heard a story of Wack extorting or pressuring or taking or nothing like that. I'm not into that. Never been into that, right? So sometimes I take the right approach, and unfortunately in this world we live in, the wrong approach always gets the results. You know what I mean?
I'd say it's the effective approach.
Which is the right approach, because it's like, it's kind of like that kid in line, man. The kid that got kicked, but only the kid that got caught the two turned around and punched the kid that kicked him, right? So, the Wack, depending on who you ask and who you talking to, depending on the answer you're gonna get. If it's the victim that I helped, right? They gonna tell you one story. If it's the individual that was trying to victimize the victim and I had to deal with him, then they're going to give you another story.
Can we talk about the foundation of Wack? Because I feel like even when I was coming to do this interview, I'm telling people I'm interviewing Wack, and they like, oh, he's the dude that said this, and he's the dude that got in a fight with that person. But I feel like a lot of the times as the journey goes on with social media, people forget the foundation and where Wack started and who Wack really is.
Well, a lot of shit that I say, I think I get a lot of negative press because I'm not the sheep. I don't follow the sheep.
Yeah.
I just don't, because everybody else go that way. I'm not gonna go there. That's never been me. That's never. I've always been a leader in everything I did. Even as a kid, when we was running around the ghetto, like I wasn't following the crowd. I was leading the crowd. They was waiting for me to tell them what we was gonna do, what we wasn't gonna do. So it's like, just because you say something, and me and Jason, we do it all the time. Like, he'll say something I don't agree with, or vice versa. And you know what? We usually end up, after talking to each other, we like holding our chin like, well, you got a point.
Well, listen, I've never been pressed by anybody in the industry but Wack.
I never pressed. First of all,
in a nice way.
Let's keep it real, Jason.
Yeah, you always
Listen,
show me love.
Wack being a street dude I am.
Yeah.
So a lot of street dudes like to keep it real, right?
Yeah.
Here it comes.
There's only 3 gay dudes that can call my phone. Openly gay dudes.
Your wife's hairdresser.
My wife's hairdresser.
Who's a friend of mine from the Bay.
I can't
think of his name, but I know, yeah.
Kurt.
Kurt.
It was It Girl Fashion. It Girl Salon. Jason Lee. And my boy that worked in the Gucci store in the Beverly Center, I call him nephew, Delano.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, they can call my, and like, one thing about me, like, I go in, I see Jason, I be with the homies, they be like, yo, Wack, man, I'm like, that's the homie. Jason, come on. And if you keep talking about it, I might introduce you to, like, you know what I mean? Because, you know what I'm saying? And see, all 3 of those dudes is one thing I know about them. They all fight.
That's why I'm surprised I love hip hop. This is they try
fight.
me. I'm like, you do realize I'm still a nigga, and two, you don't want to get beat up by a gay dude on TV.
I tell people that all the time. Yo, a gay dude is the worst dude to pick a fight with, because if he gets one good lick in, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So,
but you've always showed me love. What I like about you is there's no filter, but there's no bullshit. Like, you know what you get. It is what it is. You take the card you dealt. You either like it or don't. But it saves I feel like honesty saves everybody time. I feel like we're in a city now where, and I ain't talking about LA, the city, because when you meet the people like you, it's real LA people. And then there's the migrants that move here and create this fake world. I don't know what that shit is about.
Well, everything's a facade.
Yeah.
You got a lot of broke rappers, but they got the fake starter kit on. It looks good, and they may have a half a song out there somewhere. And they got the knockoff stuff going on, but you can't tell. And everything's a facade, so it looks good. And you got to do that to sell yourself sometimes. With me, like music really is like, it's not a primary for me.
Yeah,
I got an obligation to my artists, and a lot of my artists become like my family, my little brothers, Game, Ray J,
Blueface
and Blueface. So for me to like get to another level on something else, and then step away from something that I feel like I complete them like they complete me, it's like some disloyal stuff. It's like I used them to position myself to get to something, and now that I don't need that, I'm going that way. So it's like, the artists I deal with, they don't trust nobody. They different type of artists. Like, you really gotta like be able to grab them and not be scared of them to get them to do the right thing, or they'll go wrong. So I don't want to be sitting over here because I'm over here doing business in the Middle East on another business venture. Then I hear about this happened with Game, and I'm in my mind, I know if I'd have been there, that wouldn't have happened. So it's like, a lot of these artists really gave me my shot, my opportunity, into being on the business side of music. See, with Suge Knight, I was on the business side because he allowed me to attend certain meetings with him and things like that, to educate myself and meet people, but it was goon shit going on. It was go, 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 go. With Ray J, he allowed me to negotiate his, my first business deal with E1. That's where Sexy Cat Eye came from, right? With Game, it was the same thing. And with being around these artists while you doing business with these artists, doors open, other people tend to talk to you. You know what I mean? And through that, you kept growing, but things happen because look at the type of artists I'm managing. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's two sides to me. It's a business side, that straight A student guy, that magnet school guy, people that know me, they know this. I just grew up in the ghetto. You know what I mean? If my parents were middle class, and I could have lived in Woodland Hills, it might would have been a different story, but my father was a dope fiend. My mother was on welfare all her life. I've been paying bills since I've been 12, 13. That's why me and my wife been together since 14. You know what I mean? So I never had a chance to be
You and your wife been together that long?
Yeah, 29 years.
And she's solid too. I saw her backstage at the Real Street Fest, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna need to holler at you about your husband." She was like, "No, you need to holler at my husband." I was playing with her. She said, "No, you need to holler at my husband." I said, "Damn, I can't even joke."
Nah.
But she really is the definition of ride or die.
No, that's 29 years. We talking 8th grade. And she didn't drove the car. She didn't been in every trial. She didn't been to every institution, juvenile hall. And I went to prison as a juvenile.
To prison?
Yeah, I was the first. I was in Soledad when I was 16 years old.
Damn. What was that for?
I had a attempted murder that was reduced down to a assault with a deadly weapon. And what had happened was I'd already been to youth authority, right? So when they sent the evaluation back, and I can't lie, I've always been like a thinker. I want to outthink you. So they sent the thing back and said, due to his level of manipulation and sophistication, we deny him entry to California Youth Authority. We don't want him back here.
Right.
So I'm looking at 17 years at the time. So the judge didn't know what to do with me.
Yeah.
16, I can't send him to Youth Authority. I can't keep him in juvenile hall. So she was like, look, would you sign a release, right? Would you sign a release? We like 14, 15 right there. Would you sign a release to go to prison, and I'll give you a time reduction. So they took off 10 years. You telling me you going from 17 to 7? Let's go. Because at that time, being a young gangbanger, I was gangbanging at that time. That was like part of your resume. You had to go to the pen.
To get the respect?
Yeah, straight out just what it was,
Yeah.
right? So, and I'm decorated at the time. I'm young. I got an 18-inch bicep. I'm swole. I got my French braids. I'm tatted. Let's go. I'm going to go up there with the homies, and we going to keep this going. You know what I mean? So I ended up doing like, for a 7-year joke, I did like 5 and some change. I should have did like 3.5 years, but I got there right in the middle of that, the racial war starting between the blacks and the Hispanics, which was new to me. Coming from Pacoima, like, you know, out here, Crips and Bloods got into it, and then the Hispanics got into it. It was never like that mix like that. So that changed everything in prison.
So is it prison that changed it? Because I didn't know.
Nah, prison, definitely for me.
Because where I'm from, the Mexicans and the black people, they get along, but they have their own separate beefs. But when I moved here, I found out race was real.
No, I mean, because it became a territorial thing because of the drug trade. You know what I mean? You know, blacks, believe it or not, we control the majority of the major projects out here. You only got one, which is maybe like Aliso Village, that's like dominated by the Hispanics. But, you know, everything in Watts, you know, the projects that was in Inglewood, certain places, the big projects, the jungles, you know, that's all like black control. And when you're looking at the drug trade, you need control of that to control that.
So how did you become one of the most respected people out here in the streets? Because you're respected in the industry, and unlike a lot of people who have, I think, their thumb on their talent or their talent's afraid of them, you have respect from them, but you have a lot of respect and fear in the streets. How do you, because I think of you and Big U really are the only two people I think of when it comes to just the people to help regulate.
I think the reason why somebody you'll say Wack, it's more of us, and I'm gonna name them because they definitely deserve they credit and respect. You got Wacko, you know, from Compton, West Side Power. You got Top Dog, you know what I mean?
Is that talk with TDE?
It's TDE.
Okay.
You know, he's from Nickerson Garden Bounty Hunters.
Okay.
And right now, you know, when people talk about Death Row and Suge, and I hear people say things like, "Yo, you want to be the Suge?" I'll be like, "Shit, I don't want to be 53 years old to the first 28-year sentence." But if you're talking about the structure of business, as far as the success of business, Top Dog is the front runner of that. You know what I mean? His independent company is the front runner of that. We're all levels up under him. You know what I mean? So he's one of my mentors and one of my teachers. And it's funny because when he was on his way up, it was little pieces of the puzzle I had that I helped him out with. And I tell people, man, like, never deny a person because you never know who they're going to become. You never know who that individual is going to become.
And I think people will discount somebody's journey in the streets to the fact that it may stop, or it will stop there. Like, you could still continue on to become whatever you want.
But listen, man, and just to the youth, don't let them fool you. You hustle on the block to get off the block. Period. It's not smart to find a way off the block and then you coming back to the block every day. Not smart. Top Dog, every year, you know, he goes to his projects. That's his big Christmas thing.
Suge used to do that too.
Yeah, and then throughout the year, you know, it's families and things that we all do and take care of and things that we do. You know what I mean? Blueface is a young artist I have now, and I'm trying to instill that in him. Like Saturday, he has his first Christmas drive. You know, the World on Wheels. That's his section. It's his neighborhood over there. And like he's giving away 1,000 pair of shoes, and you know, Shaquille O'Neal donated all the Papa John pizzas, and Fashion Nova came to the table. And they bringing the hoodies, and it's just a drive for the kids because in his mind, he like, you know, a lot of kids want to be fresh, so I'm gonna give away Jordans. You know what I mean? So it's like, but at 22, for him to even have that in his head that this is something I want to do is a great thing for me. You know, and there's two sides of me. I can come smile. I'm a businessman. I'm a father. You know, I'm a husband. I'm a friend. But if you fuck with my family or my people or some associates or you interfere in some business I have going on, it's another side to me as well. You know, that's where the street structure and the prison structure come from. I'm just in control of it because I never been on drugs. I don't even know how to inhale, exhale.
Oh, you never smoked?
Nah, I don't know none of that.
You never smoked?
Hell no. Nah,
you don't drink either?
You got to understand, my name and my era coming up meant something totally different than what it means today. And to be focused, right? To be focused because you had to win. Like, you couldn't commit a crime and then get caught and think you won. Even if the guy you committed the crime on is not here anymore, but you get caught for that crime, you still lost. So in my mind, you know, I had to be focused with everything I was doing. You know what I mean? Because it was violence. This shit was driven on violence, bro. Because you didn't want to give a guy the opportunity to come back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, coming from that and understanding it. That's why I stand on this. Since 1994, I have not authorized or been in the presence of anybody being initiated on the gang. I won't even allow it in front of me. Period. My kids like this young man right here.
I was about to say, listen, if you ever see Wack with his kids, and you remind me a lot of my brother who was murdered early. He was Pyru from Northern California, but he never drank, never smoked. He was all about his money. He was the most respectable business person, but also the most respectable family person. I always say, like, he really was the father I never had.
Gotcha.
And when I see you with your son, I mean, do you purposely parent him in a way that keeps him out of some of the stuff that you went through?
Well, first things first, I let him know everything I went through. I let him know exactly who his father is. I let him know the reason why I missed the 4 years of your life is this. I let him know if you go down that route, the route I've been down, this is what it's gonna get you. Period. I don't hide nothing from them. They know exactly who their father is. Their mother instills a lot of the church stuff into them. Me, I'm gonna send him to the fight school because he ain't grow up in the projects. You know, we learn how to fighting every day. But as a man, he's become a man. So I got to instill the things of survival in him. You know, instead of getting a gun from the big homie, you know, you're 21, let's go to the gun store and then I'm going to get you a trainer to teach you how to use that. You know what I mean? So everything I have in me, he has in him just the right way.
Right. Same skills, but
we living in a world where a lot of things happen the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I advise anybody that's in the ghetto that's 18 to 21 that doesn't have any felonies to go to the military or go to the police to go to the police force. Straight up, I tell them all the time. They say, why you say that? Well, if I got one of my little homeboys right here that I know where he grew up at, but he didn't get caught doing nothing, and I know he got a license to carry that gun, who else I want with me?
For your security. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who else I want with me? They ain't gonna put him in the police station in the neighborhood. I mean, we talking about all this police brutality and all, you know, who else you want pulling you over as a black man is somebody that understands you, who's been pulled over like you. You know, so this whole thing of the army, the military, not a place for a black man. Man, listen, man, somebody graduates from high school, goes to college, versus somebody that goes straight to the Air Force. 4 years later, put them both together and let's see where they at.
You recently went after T.I. for posting you posted the commercial of him promoting Crime Stoppers, which got a lot of people talking, and then that made it on Hollywood Unlocked and went viral, and people were texting to me. When you decide to take a shot like that, was that something that he started or something that you just put out? Because
I don't start too much. The problem is I'm an extremist, so like you'll throw a pebble at me, but I'm gonna throw a mountain at your ass, so I get all the attention. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and look, I'm the first to say, right? The politics and the rules and regulations of the streets are so contradicting and so distorted to where it's like when you're a part of this shit, certain things, you know, even though it's the right thing to do, you just can't do.
Because there's consequences.
You can't do it because you can't represent this and then represent that at the same time. Like, come on, like Jason with you on some real stuff. This is another reason why I respect you, right? You a talented person. Lo, I'm gay. I've never seen you over here trying to trick a female.
Right.
And then on the flip side, in business, I've never seen you flirting with a male. So whatever a person does in this private time, that's cool, but at least you come as who you are. So when you come in with this street persona, right, it's just rules that we gotta follow that what you can and can't do. Like I can see, for real, I can see an individual get murdered right in front of my face, robbed, whatever, and the police come and say, hey, the camera has you seen the individual. Can you give us any information on him? It could have been my son. I can't give up that information.
Wow.
Which is a very irrational thing. It's in the in the eyes of life is wrong. But that's an irrational place we come from.
Well, Remy Ma recently said that when you live by the streets, you have to live by the code. So that
Exactly.
So that's where the code applies.
And like, we don't know. The problem is, bro, we don't know who made up the code. It could be a motherfucker with a 3rd grade education that was on PCP. It's just been in place, and that's what it is. And then they have today what they call selective politicking, where because it's this dude and he's just doing this and he has money or he's helping these people, we're going to overlook what he did. But if it's the same, another guy does the same thing, we're going to punish him.
But when we had Casanova here recently, and I had asked him, like, when does the code apply? Because I remember when you had, what's the rapper's name who tried to come after Game in Miami and you just knocked him out? Stitches. He was the early 6'9" with the tattoos all over his face and stunned on Instagram.
I didn't know who Stitches was at the time. I just saw somebody was a threat to my client, to my artist, to my little brother.
But you kind of ended his online. You kind of ended him. I mean, after that, it was you can't really come back.
Stitches
from that.
calls me today. He still calls me. Like, he sent me his music to critique his music. You know, politics kicked in, and then a couple weeks after that, he called and apologized. And you know, even he was misled in that situation. Somebody sent him to do that. He didn't really have nothing personal against Game, but you playing out the social media. Who's a better guy to attack or confront than Game? You know, at the time, Game was on active probation. He had a new beef, a new case, and you know, and I wasn't going to risk that. I wasn't going to allow that to happen. But that's the difference between the management in the office and a manager that's from the streets that understands the office.
Yeah. I do want to touch more on what you said earlier about facades. And when I look at you, I do look at a man that's a businessman.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a fly on the wall and Wack's talking, you can learn something. Also, you put your family first. There was a recent back and forth with Blueface and another new artist, Young Ro.
Meek Mill's artist.
Definitely. Yeah.
And he was suggesting that he should buy a chain, kind of like, I feel like he was feeding into the facade thing you were talking about, where Young Ro wanted to prioritize doing something for his family, something I think Wack would more so
And I
agree
woke
with.
up to that. I'm going to keep it real. Blueface, that's my artist, my little brother. I love him to death. Love him like a son, right? But my words to Blueface was, you wrong.
I wanted to get your perspective on that, because I
No,
feel like
I believe
Wack
because
would say,
everybody's mission is different. And I went back and looked at the other artists' what he was saying, right? And you know, he saw, I think, something about the, dialysis or getting his grandmother or somebody off dialysis, right? So Blueface, what he was trying to say was, position yourself for people to want to follow you as a fan, and that gets you to the money, right? Which is the
So then you
smoke,
can provide for your
or you
family.
can provide. This what Blueface was trying to say.
More from the branding.
Yeah, and when you texting and doing
it
shit,
was probably left out of
it was left out. So he wasn't. I told him he was wrong for even commenting on the guy openly like that because he didn't know him. Right. And you never know what somebody's going through. You know, Lord forbid, the next day, you know, dudes, whoever the lady is, something happens to her, you know, then it turns into something else, right? So what Blueface was trying to say was, spend the money on this, right? So you can get to more money to do that.
Right.
He was trying to tell him to invest in his brand.
Because what Blueface is saying, man, you don't know if that's going to be your last 50 in this game. We've seen people get a little bit and go on and stay around a little bit and make a little more. So that's what he was saying. You know, and when I sat out with Blueface is a very, very intelligent kid.
And he listens to you. I mean, I've seen you guys together. He listens to you.
Yeah. So when I told him, like, look, I understand what you're saying, but this is the way he took it. He got it. And so what he did is he manned up and he DM'd the guy back and kind of let him know where he was coming from.
But if that was to escalate, because you've banned Meek Mill from coming to LA before.
No, I didn't ban Meek Mill. We just had a situation. We had a problem, and I just happened to be from, you know, Southern California, just like Meek Mill's from Philly. You know, Meek Mill's a real dude. He got real people around him. So you got to understand it's kind of give or take, because when you're dealing with Philly, you got New Jersey, you got New York, even Baltimore. So it's like, you know, the same rules apply on that side. I got a strong team on that side. I've been playing that East Coast for a very long time, right? So it was never a thing to say you banned from coming out here, because even then he still had ties with other tribes out here that could have moved him around. It was just really another situation going on that really didn't have nothing to do directly with me, but it was involving game.
But if that was to escalate with Blueface and his artists, would you pick up the phone and call him and y'all would fix it?
I definitely. We at the point right now where I could have called Tag or called Meek Mill and we could have definitely rectified that. I wasn't going to allow that to happen.
Because you were the first person that actually made me think of the business side of what you do in the streets. And I'm not going to get into all the details because you can tell that if you want, but in terms of the communication around the country, you know, because where I'm from, people think I just move out of town and the beef is gone.
Nah, definitely. I'm in 13, 14 states at all times.
But I mean, man, you know, little town shit. I'm not, no disrespect to little town gangsters. I'm just saying where I'm from, I'm moving to Oakland. I'm good. I just don't have to go back to Stockton. Here, you cannot escape it.
Nah, you definitely can't, because it's like,
and we don't have to talk about the operation.
It's like the business crosses. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know how many times like somebody land in Atlanta and I may call over to the QC and say, yo, P, my people there, you know, could you make sure they straight? Now, that's all I got to say. Get out the phone and whatever they need, they got it, right? So if I look up and somebody he got an issue with in Atlanta happens to migrate my way to my backyard and that call goes in, right, then I gotta acknowledge that call. So you never know.
You can't.
You know what I mean? Then whatever with me comes with that. You know what I mean? So you never know. But you know, for the last, I don't know if you guys noticed, for like the last 10, 12 years, it's been minimum
it's been very
gang
quiet.
violence within the urban hip hop community.
That's good.
Because of the table that's created. You know what I mean? The Crips and Bloods, and everybody's tied to somebody. So before we let it escalate, we'll have a conversation with each other.
Which is something I do since I moved out here, respect, where I see people actually get on the phone and talk a situation through before it escalates. I've never seen that before. I've been in situations where I'm in the back seat and people are making calls, and I'm like,
yeah, we fix
this shit is organized. Like, get the fuck out of here.
You fix it.
But you have to respect it too. You know what I mean? I feel like there's some people that
they give respect to people, and I feel like a lot of times when people come up in the streets now, they lost that respect for people that came before them. So when I see it in any light, I kind of admire it, where it's like, wow, you actually call somebody and they can tell you, don't do that, think on that, and they respect.
Yeah, and then we'll put a call into the other side. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a lot of these little youngsters, man. Like, a lot of the old heads got to respect. A lot of these little dudes is real, even on there, like Trippie Redd. He from Ohio, but he's a real little dude. He got real soldiers around him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, and I really like him because he'll call me, like when he's ready to, you know, he'll call me and he'll listen to me and he'll give me that chance to make that call for him. Not that he's scared. It's just that, you know, he told me, like, yo, man, I want to get to be where you at one day, far as age-wise. So, like, if your crazy ass is still around here, you must know something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of real dudes. You know, Lil Baby, real dudes. You know what I mean? Like, they got real squads. You know what I mean? Like, you know, what's her man? Be wearing a dress.
No, Young
Tricking
Thug.
Young Thug.
Yeah, no, I heard he really
real dude. Like, you know, he may be fucking around. Real dude, though. You know what I mean? You got a lot of real dudes. You know, Casanova, you know, he got a lot of people that fuck with him out there in
Brooklyn.
You know, it's a lot of real dudes out there.
But when you think about people like 6ix9ine, especially what he's going through right now, where he literally today got sentenced to 23 months. He's already served, I think, 13.
He'll be out in a minute.
He's gonna be out in a minute. That to me changes.
This is what's gonna happen to 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine's gonna get out. He's gonna move to Europe. He's gonna be a bigger streaming artist than he was before he left. This is what's gonna happen to him. And in defense of 6ix9ine, 6ix9ine did nothing wrong.
But didn't he though?
Nah.
He did nothing wrong.
But this
I
is
I
agree
told
with that,
everybody,
Wack.
you'll never find nowhere where Wack was with 6ix9ine.
never. But that's
I'll
what.
tell you why he did nothing wrong. Right? Okay. You're a straight man, right? Straight. So we're going to use Jason in this situation. We got 8 straight men, right? And we got to get one more dude.
You're gonna let the gay dude in,
Right? We let the gay dude in,
Damn,
right?
fucked off the game.
And we going to the motherfucking locker room. We in this locker room, everybody got stripped down and all that, right? So we elected to let
The gay dude in.
the gay dude in, right? So now you mad because you seen the gay dude glance at you, right? I say that to say this. In a circus, right? the clown has to put on his uniform. After the circus, the clown takes his uniform off, okay? That whole situation, everybody knew that this kid with rainbow hair is not a fucking gang member. But because of the politics of the dollar, he got some people to get behind him, and they gave him all this blood, and all that in the video, and that made it different for the kids. They see the rainbow, they see this, see that, right? Okay. When the circus was over, right? The clown, who everybody knew was a clown, took off his uniform, his bozo nose and shoes, and sat under that light and was who everybody knew him to be. A little old fucking Spanish, I don't know if he's Spanish, well, I don't know what the fuck he is, right? A real normal kid, right? So do you blame 6ix9ine or do you blame that fucking block?
I do blame the block, but also
he did what he's supposed. My son is not trained. My son is gonna tell the fucking truth. He doesn't know nothing about snitching. In the civilized world, snitching is held to gangsters. They knew he was not a gangster. So why are you subjecting him to gangster shit?
Damn.
And I agree with you there, but I feel like there were certain instances where he's naming people that have nothing to do with his situation. Like he named Cardi B, he named Jim Jones.
No, but he's not.
You just let the gay dude in the locker room, and you mad that he's looking.
He looking at everybody.
You know he gay.
That's the point.
You a grown man. You asshole nigga. What you think he gonna do, bro?
I'm looking.
But that's
the point. But I think that's the point. That analogy is perfect.
That.
Wait, hold on. That analogy is perfect because he's not saying you brought the gay dude in the locker room and he only looking at the team. The gay dude looking at everybody.
Everybody.
Because it's a free for all.
And Blueface, right? Another youngster would have been in 6ix9ine shoes. I say all the way wrong. Blueface coming this shit. He pushing them streets. He schoolyard cripping. He been doing it day one. He fall up under the politics and the script of the streets. This dude, everybody knew you like.
They just discovered him and put him in it.
But is that because they took their eye off of what the street code is supposed to be and got focused on the dollar?
It was the dollar, bro. That's what it was, because it was real people that's caught up now. Like real credible dudes from over there, right? But they allowed a dude to bring this dude, the clown. They done brought the clown into the motherfucking drug room. Like, they cooking cocaine, they doing everything right here. They done brought the clown in here, right? So when the clown takes off his uniform and they say, all right, what did you see? We're gonna give you 47 years. What you think the civilian's gonna do? He was a civilian. I stopped being a civilian at the age of 11. When I crossed over and started committing crimes and seeing things, at that point in time, I was obligated to the code of the streets. This dude never had an obligation. So do you blame him for being who he is?
But would he be allowed to come to LA now and do that? Like, could he come here? Because now people are saying the industry in the United States is going to embrace him again.
I strongly advise him not to do those type of things. But if he wanted to come do a show at the Staples Center, you goddamn right he can do the show. He's going to sell out the show. He's going to get in and out safely. I'm going to tell you why.
He's going to pay for it.
My 15-year-old daughter doesn't give a damn about that.
No.
And all the rest of these kids, that's his fans, could care less about that because they're coming up in a different time and age, right? Okay, so now we have the fans that's going to pack the building, right? The money's being made. Okay, now you have the local police department, SWAT, or whatever the fuck else you need to have. Remember, he's tied to a major label, and they going to spin that bag. They going to walk him in like Drake when the shit was going on with Meek, walked his ass into Philly with whatever guards he had around him. They're going to walk him in there, right? The fans is little kids. They don't give a damn about that. He's going to do his show.
Make his money.
They're going to escort him right back to Van Nuys Airport or lock down one of these goddamn, the floor, 11th floor at the W, where can't nobody come up, and he's going to leave.
Damn.
This is the reality of it. Everybody can front, and you not going to do shit because you're not going to have the opportunity to do anything.
Does that change the game then?
No, bro, listen. Now, I ain't telling you he finna walk through Compton or walk through
He ain't walking to Roscoe.
motherfucking Inglewood like it, or through a ghetto. I ain't saying that. I'm saying within the industry, his safety can be guaranteed and controlled when he's doing things. Now, if he want to be stupid and jump in the car and drive down the street, then that's on him.
Yeah.
But let's just be, and I'm saying this so when it happens, I don't want nobody tagging, hey, Wack 100, what's up with you street niggas? I see 6ix9ine performing at the Staples Center. Well, shit, I told you he could perform at the Staples Center.
I mean, with the right amount of security, he can move anywhere.
He gonna be able to do.
He gonna have the security.
Listen, bro. Listen, he's gonna be. Listen,
And the police.
listen. He's gonna get out. Y'all gotta understand what they did. Do you not know? You didn't notice at the time they started to do the 6ix9ine trial when all the telling came out. They started to release the footage of him being kidnapped, or the footage of his manager
Making him look
allegedly
like a
doing
vic-
this.
making him
So
look like a
now the
victim.
kids are like, remember our kids, the one we raised as civilians. Oh, well, they did that. He was supposed to. Now we ain't gonna. I'm not gonna tell my kid. Hell no. He was supposed to stay down and keep it gangster. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
You're not gonna do that, right?
Right.
So it was strategically done to where it kind of like, to us, I've never listened to a 6ix9ine song that came on the radio. So I don't count. I don't matter. I don't stream. I don't matter. It's my daughter that has my credit card tied to that damn account. She's the one that matters.
And you're talking about the worldwide market too, because LA and Miami, the United States is one thing, but go over to Europe, you're going to sell
He's
out
gonna go to
stadiums.
Europe. I'm telling you, he's gonna stay in Europe. He's gonna get about $250,000 a show. He's gonna sit right there. He's gonna stream, and with his first visit back to the States, he gonna sell it out. He'll sell out Madison Square Garden. He go to New York. It's really gonna go.
Yeah. Now, I was surprised to see the whole controversy with you and Nipsey, because I know that you respected Nipsey.
No, listen, that's really not, and that's what social media has done. It's really not controversy. Like Nipsey as a man, an individual, where he from, his business ventures, who he was as a father, as a husband.
What he represented.
I've never spoke on that because me and Nipsey never spent that type of time together, right? When somebody asks me a simple question based upon a legend in music, right? Me being who I am, you understand where I come from. That word, just like I've never seen a 15-year-old die as an OG. You have to be around long enough to obtain that status. So when I speak on legend in music, I'm speaking on stats. You know what I'm saying? I personally felt like he had 2-3 great songs. Last time I checked, it was one of my favorites. That should have went big. Why they didn't go big, I don't know what the politics was, but he dropped one album, not his mixtapes, in like 6-7 years, right? So in order to be considered a legend in my book, where I come from, now,
In music.
in music, we talking LL Cool J, we talking Ice Cube,
Dr.
Dre, you know, Body. We talking, you know, and even like let's
Snoop.
just let Snoop, and let me tone it down. We talking, you know, Outkast. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's like you have to have those stats. It's a lot of people that have been around that don't have the stats. That been around 20, 25. One of my favorite rappers that doesn't have the stat, Cam. Because Cam was a real political rapper. And I told him 20 years ago, boy, if you don't tone that shit down, they're gonna block you out. Cam was too real for him. You know, he was really like the rapid Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but Cam doesn't have the stats because politically the labels kind of like blackballed him a little bit, so his sales wasn't there. But, you know, to me, I look at him as a legend differently in music. It's levels to it. You got like E40.
Yeah.
E40.
They say he's a Bay Area legend.
Look, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
he's a Bay Area, but I got to give him a little more than that. West Coast legend, right?
Yeah.
Then you get a guy like Game that comes after E40 that has crossed, right? Right? His legendary status as still being a living legend, 15 years in the game, 30, 40 million records sold. He done been on world tours 18, 19, 20 times. He done did all kind of things. It's different. Then we go to Cube, like Game's not Cube legendary status, right? So, and I think what we need to start factoring in, because I always play devil's advocate with myself. I think we should factor in underground legends. Big L. This dude never went mainstream, but underground. You know what I'm saying?
SIBO. Do you remember SIBO?
I did all my prison time
Yeah.
on SIBO.
Yeah.
Right? So underground legends like Dub C. Dub C, one of my favorite rappers, right? Now, he may not have the stats, but he was part of our culture when he was kicking the door down for this West Coast. And always part of big movements, you know what I mean? West Side Connection, him and Q right now, they still tour the world 100, 200 times, 200 shows, 2-hour shows every time they get up there. So what the world did, they took what Wack said and said, oh, he said Nipsey not a legend. No, we're talking music. I'm not talking nothing else.
I think that's what
Juice WRLD just died, and people online were saying he's a legend, and I'm like, I like Juice
He
WRLD.
ain't been
was
around.
dope.
He
He
had
was
great
dope.
numbers, but he ain't been
he's not a
around
legend.
long enough.
But I feel like that's where you and Jason are similar to me. When people question your point of view, y'all double down. You know, and I feel like people didn't really want to realize that you were just talking about music. It just looked like, to them, it's like you were just shitting on his legacy.
They wanted me to be the sheep and just follow what they say, right? And anybody that's keeping it real, they'll tell you like, well, shit, you know, when it comes to music. Now, listen, now if you ask me about certain artists, like you think in 20 years or 15 years or 10 years, this artist is going to be a legend. And I got to like critique what I think they doing now. And I say, fuck no, that's one thing. But if you ask me if Nip had another 10 years on him, you know what I'm saying? What he had got there, I believe so. Because his section definitely supported him. He come from a strong section. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that he wasn't having any to be that at his time of demise because it was so early. He was like 33 years old. You know what I mean? And his body of work wasn't as vast at that time. His numbers and his stats didn't constitute that.
Well, but he's had a legendary impact on the city since he's passed, right?
No, listen. He's it's like Biggie Smalls. I said the same thing about Biggie, and they took it out of, blew it out. At the time, Biggie died in 1997. At that moment, Biggie was a superstar.
He became legendary later.
He was not a legend at that time. Now, since then, it's been movies and 800 rappers dropping his name, people remixing his beats, and this, that, and other. He became that. But at that time, right, we talking stats and numbers. Nah, he wasn't.
I mean, I got when Wack did the video, I got what he said.
He explained it.
I got what he said because when Michael Jackson died, he died a legend, right?
Hell yeah.
Now Justin Timberlake dies today. He's not a legend. That doesn't mean Justin Timberlake hasn't done great music. He hasn't charted. He hasn't.
You don't think JT
I
might
don't
be a
know.
legend?
I might question you on that.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
JT got some projects.
Mickey Mouse Club,
I'm gay. I didn't play with Mickey
No,
Mouse.
he's not.
What I'm saying,
You
that's
talking
a
some Mike
legendary.
shit. That's some like
But
it's levels to it.
I guess that was my point.
You know,
I guess that was
yeah.
my point. When you're talking about music, we all reserve the right to decide what a legend is, right? Like I personally, Mike is a legend. We would all agree to, but I don't think of Justin Timberlake. But I didn't look at, especially knowing your relationship with Game's relationship with Nip, your relationship in the community of Los Angeles and entertainment, that you were shitting on the legacy of Nipsey Hussle by having an opinion about.
Shitting on the legacy is shitting on the Rolling 60s, right? And I've always been an open voice. Like that's like one of my second families. You know, Big U over there. That's my big brother. He's like he one of very few people that could really come knock on my door at 2:00 in the morning and say, I need to fucking talk to you. You tripping. And I'm gonna open the door and I can call his wife and tell on him if he pissed me off. You know, we do that kind of thing with each other, right? So just the politics of where Nipsey's from, right? I'm never gonna shit on his section because I got too much respect for his section. But you know, I think just because it's me, right? Anything I say, they take it and they twist it and they make it to what they want it to be. Like I had a little altercation, right? You can't tell. Wack got
Rolling out.
I got knocked out.
Wait,
Man, let me tell you
it's
something.
not little,
If
'cause
Wack
it's all-
100 got knocked out, that's big as Donald Trump being impeached today. That shit's going viral.
Well, you've offered $100,000 and nobody yet. I mean, I've been looking for the video because I need some money.
I mean, you
it
know,
ain't
like,
out there.
you know
If
what
I
I'm saying?
can't find it.
So wait, but what happened though? All I'm seeing is the aftermath and videos.
No,
but-
so look, this is really what happened. So,
By the way, you don't have a scratch on your face.
bro, listen. So the dude that with the altercation with, right, he had texted me, right? So he spoke his piece, but I didn't really take him serious because he used to work for me.
But he texts you like talking crazy.
Yeah, he was talking crazy, but I didn't take him serious because he used to work for me. Like he used to bodyguard my kids. So I'm like, well, when I see him, I talk to him. You know what I'm saying? That simple. He wasn't a dude that I'm like, he's a threat, some shit like that, because he was really like family, right? So when he saw me, right, he got off.
Like got off his swung?
He swung once.
Really?
Swung one time, right?
Wow.
Like soon as you seen him.
Yeah. When
Wasn't even know.
Not because what it was, we was coming in, right?
That takes a lot of courage.
No, we was coming in. We was all coming in. We already running late. I got like 20 minutes to get games from the stage trailer. And my wife and kids is over there, so I'm kind of focusing on that. So I really wasn't how I was supposed to be, right? So when he saw me, got off, right? I didn't know he got off till he got off, right? So it kind of pissed me off because it was like one of them things, you know, you pick up your little badass nephew and hit you in the face, right? So by the time I realized what was going on, right, my homeboy on the side of me, Cuban Rob, he get off, right? But dude's making his retreat already, right? So what y'all seeing on the footage is like the second half, because we know which area he ran into, but the security swarmed so goddamn much, then they know who I am, and now other people's coming. Big homie, what's happening? I'm trying to get back to the area where I think he is, like the LAPD, and search. They ain't let me back there. Right, and then it was a gentleman there, and I got to issue an apology to him. His name was Milk. He's from the dude neighborhood. Now, Milk came over there on the bus with me. So now my mind is racing. I'm
Thinking
like,
it was
oh
a setup.
shit, you was the eyes, you know what I mean? Like, because it was like he was in a perfect position.
You're trying to put it all together.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it all together, right? So when I see Milk see me, he really don't know how to react because I'm in rage right now, right? And he like, what going on? Milk, get away from me, right? And the whole time I'm thinking it was a conspiracy, it was a setup, but it wasn't. So since then I've talked to Milk, and I apologize to Milk. You know, Milk is like one of my little nephews. I got real love for him. So that's really all that was. It was
But did
that
he hit
simple.
you and run?
No, he hit me and Ray. He got a good one in.
Really?
And I kind of like glad he did it, because I always ask myself, because you know I get off first.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I get off.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm
listen.
fine. So yeah. So but dude
Wait,
like
wait,
300 pounds. So I always question like, could you handle one of them? You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like a bad night, but a good night, because I'm like, shit, I ate that.
But I've seen how you move though. Do you think you got caught slipping? Because you don't move like
No,
that.
it really wasn't. No, it
you
wasn't
always
slipping.
have your family,
No,
but you
what-
always have some.
What it was shit happened. I put game on the show last minute. That was the
So you're
last minute
moving
thing.
fast.
So we was moving so damn fast, people got separated, right, from where they were supposed to be. Usually when I'm moving, I'm not worried about what's going on back here because people back there. The people that's supposed to have been back there wasn't back there because they ended up stopping with Blueface somewhere else to make sure he was all right.
Okay.
So in my mind, I'm not knowing because protocols, they on my heels. They'd have been where they were supposed to be, and it would have never happened. And then I'm walking on the outside, and my other man is on the inside of me, which I should have been on the inside. He on the outside. So it was just there was a breakdown in how it happened. And you know what? It's probably good that it happened that way, because if my man was that mad, it's probably a good thing I didn't run into him anywhere else, because the setup was different, and then it gets drastic.
Is everything clear now?
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, like it ain't. The internet is making this up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've already spoken to the gentleman. He called me apologizing and let me know where his head was at, and this is that and other. So you know, it ain't no big deal like that. And I got a lot of relationships over there, but people feed into the internet. They like, oh, this is what's going on, and I got to speak on it because I don't know who this dude is beefing
listen,
with.
Wack getting jumped is like Donald
that
Trump getting impeached.
No, it wasn't no jump. But see,
No, I mean, if it would,
it wouldn't have been no more Rolling Loud. that shit, that's over with. Like, it's like we fight 50 deep back there. Like, and a lot of people that's back there that didn't have to come with me, still with me. So
my team, these are two of the three people on the Hollywood Unlocked social media. So of course, when it happens, the text comes across. Wack 100 jump. I said that didn't happen. This must be April. It was April.
Come on, man. I continued, got my artist to the stage and everything I needed to do. I went on my little hunt, couldn't find him, back to business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just all that
I'm
was.
glad everything's settled.
I think what was crazy is to see you had an altercation with Mike Tyson. I think that was crazy than seeing
I
that.
went on the podcast trying
like,
to get
wait,
punched.
did you get off first? Like,
I went on the
Mike?
I went on the podcast after trying to get punched.
Hey, look, let me tell you something. If any human being, right, gonna act like Mike wouldn't make them nervous, they crazy as hell. I'm 5'7". I do not box. I squabble. I attack. So shit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mike Tyson because he gave me a break. No, I ain't finna take 100% of that credit. I'd be less than a real nigga to do that.
But you,
know what I'm
Mike,
saying?
Frenchie, you guys have been friends for a while.
You know, Frenchie, my
You got a
brother.
family,
Frenchie,
yeah.
Frenchie, I trust Frenchie with the life of my family, my kids. You know what I mean? And Mike's a great dude. You know what I mean? You know, I'm a Mike Tyson fan.
Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie, that is the only footage
crazy.
this year that I've actually tried to find that I can't find nowhere.
That's just heart. Look, brother, all that come down to is just having the heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna give you a little advice. Let the fear drive a little of the heart.
Yeah.
The hit is a little strong. This just being real. You know
I
what
always
I mean?
told people back in the day, I don't have a lot of heart, but I'll shoot your ass first because I'm afraid.
Nah,
of getting
Jason
killed.
talk shit. He didn't talk shit
That's
to me.
how I met. That's the first time I see JC was
Yo,
to fight
listen,
at this
I'm sitting
party.
here tripping like I'll be bad with stuff. So, what else the hell? That wasn't you?
I was
you
at Revolt, Real.
No, what was before? I'm seeing him with somebody else hosting something.
He used to be the host of Revolt Live here in
It
LA.
was just Revolt.
It was Revolt, Real 92.3, the radio station.
I remember you was
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I
yeah,
came
yeah.
up there a couple
Yeah.
times. Those was just those two things.
Yeah, probably that you
Gotcha.
remember.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
I don't talk shit to you. I have fun with Wack because when people talk about Wack, they're just so afraid of him. I'm like, you should be afraid of him, but I really feel like you said earlier, if you on the cool side or
Yeah.
you cool, you don't have a problem.
Man, I'm approachable. I do a lot of good deeds for people. I talk to people. You know, I help the youngsters.
But you did call me one time and you said, why the fuck is Shaq calling me about you? I said, I can fix it. You're like, let me call you back and see what I can
that's
fix.
my brother, you know what I mean? So I don't know what
let me
you-
call you back. I'm like, damn.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
now it's like I got two people I deal with, my brother right here, but so I got like, Jay, what you doing? Because I know Jason. He get on some bullshit. He get conniving and devious.
Look at this laugh he got.
It's real, bro.
No, but I do respect you, and that's why I wanted to interview you. One, because like, yeah, there's the viral moments and all that, but behind the scenes, if people could really see you with your kids and your wife, and see Cash. Cash is a cool motherfucker. Wack is a cool motherfucker until you get on the other side of it.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, my other side is just I'm just protective. Like, bro, like really, just a short time we met each other, right? It could be tomorrow. If I seen something going on with you at the corner, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna defend you because it's like I just was with you. You know what I mean? If you wrong, we're gonna talk about that shit later. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna stand with you, right or wrong. But if you wrong, we're gonna talk about it later because it might not time to talk about it now because shit going on. But I'm just one of those type of people, man, that where I'm not gonna be Hollywood. He know that.
Yep.
He know that. Like I don't care who I'm with. Jason, what's up, bro?
Yep.
They be like, yo, Wack, ain't that? What you mean? What you say? Because I embarrass you. Jason, this dude asked me, is you gay? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my dog. I fuck with him. I don't care. I feel like, for real, any straight man, right, who's uncomfortable around a gay man, that's because you got tendencies.
That's facts.
You confused.
I walked into a video shoot one day and Wack said, you know why I like him? Because his ass to tell you he's gay, I'm like, and he started naming other people, which we ain't gonna get into today. Because the thing about you do say whatever the fuck you want to say, and you're unapologetic. I wish more people were like that. This is the last question I'm gonna ask you.
What up?
I think it's kind of changed, but maybe now, I don't know. But for a while, it seemed like celebrities were buying like the street shit. Like, is it? I know they can buy protection,
Buying
but
a package?
but buying in like the way 6ix9ine did is a different level of buying in. I think it's different when you get support, because there's a lot of people that you wouldn't know have support, they got it, but then there's the people that act like they're from the streets. What is that still permissible, or is that still happening?
I mean, it's definitely gonna happen because it's like, you know, a lot of the, it's very few mainstream real gangster rappers. A lot of the people that's mainstream gangster rapping is the persona and the people around them. And when you look up, let's say it's your little nephew, you know he ain't really that, but he hollering with y'all hollering on the block, but it's a $5 million deal on the table. Shit, the homies gonna get behind him.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna eat off that.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know,
And they look at it as representing.
I mean, money has brought many things over the years. Sex, goddamn, popularity. You know what I mean?
And for some people, freedom.
Damn right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you know, but listen, man, we got preachers that was doing shit to kids, and you know, next thing you know, it went away. They settled with the family, 20 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, that's just really what it's about, and everybody trying to find their way, man.
Did you put Ray J in position to run Death Row?
First of all, Death Row is owned by E1 Music, my distribution
is it?
company.
Okay.
right? So
But I know ain't nothing happening with Death Row without you. So.
Death Row is run by all the music and all that is controlled by E1 Music, which is my distribution company. That's where Games last 4 or 5 albums. I just did an imprint deal up on the 100 ENT. I just signed up Hispanic act out of Hawthorne area, the Coyotes, another little kid out of Kansas City, Flash Gotti. Like, I'm still running Cash Money West. We got Blueface over there. A few more people coming in. Games still up under the E1 umbrella. So I'm probably like the first dude to kind of run 3 labels at the same time.
See, people don't realize the business behind. I mean, there's a whole business brand behind it.
And we got incredible diapers coming. I did a branding deal with Nick Cannon. I created my own diaper.
See, that's the Wack. I know the business
Man,
Wack.
Yeah, me and my wife.
Yeah, I saw.
But you
Wack.
know what? See, you talking that shit. But look, nephew, let something come your way that's a little too much for you to handle. It's not your lane.
Yeah.
You know, like, Unc, I need to holler at you. What happened? Like, you go, no, look, I met the chick. I didn't know I did what I did. Come to find out, her baby daddy was doing 10 years. He just got out, and he want to kill me.
Yeah, real shit.
Now it's the other Wack got to address that. I can't go in the other way. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's a lot of side. I'm a little unique because I can turn it on and off depending on whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's just all it is. But, you know, end of the day, I love who love me. I fuck with who fuck with me.
I think it's like management with insurance.
Yeah, definitely. No,
Because I saw you with Nick Cannon on this show, and you said, you know, we got you out here, Nick. I said, oh,
nah, man, let me tell you something. Leave Nick alone. You get fucked up playing with
I
Nick.
fuck with Nick.
Yeah, it's a lot of people outside of myself got major love for Nick. Nick does
He's a good person.
Nick helps a lot of people out. He does a lot of things with people. Nick is one of those people. Nick, big boy, you know, a few people like that, you don't want to fuck with.
Jason Lee.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you need to have a gay, like the token gay dude.
Well, like, see with you, Jason, I might have to let you have a fight and we supervise it because you really be doing some bullshit sometimes. But we gonna make sure it don't go forward. Yeah, you ain't gonna be like, listen, y'all ain't gonna jump on him. Actually, look, Jason, which one? You got to pick which one you want to fight. And there you go.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you always showing me love. And anytime you want to come up here, if you have time.
Nah, I got you. I mean, let's make the thing bigger, man. You need to take this worldwide because y'all keep it real up here.
No, for sure. Appreciate you. All right, we out. Peace.
Peace.